Cool. Yeah. Well, I'll just do a quick intro, and by the time I finish, hopefully we'll have more people coming. So yeah, thank you everyone so much for joining the space call. So myself, Christina, and Ankit are your hosts, and today we're covering a very important topic, KRC20 bridges, again for the second time, and this time we have Sione from KaspaCom, sorry. And so KaspaCom is building their own bridge, and we're going to get into the details of what is happening there. We had a space call probably 2 weeks ago with the Zealous and Nacho team, and we covered their CAD bridge solution. And so today we are hoping to get into all the ins and outs with Sione and their solution. And just a little bit of ground rules. So guys, if you could please retweet this space, given our previous space didn't work out. And on top, this is a very important topic. And we want as many people as possible to attend and ask questions and learn about it. And yeah, please do retweets, please. And so the space is open. If you have any questions, raise your hand. We'll add you as a speaker, or if you're shy to speak, just type your questions in the comments. Cool. Sione, welcome.
Thank you, Christina, for having me. Always a pleasure to be with you guys here and to talk about some KaspaCom.
Yeah, awesome. Looking forward to it. Exciting stuff is happening.
Awesome. Great. Thank you, Christina, for that introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm having a little bit of an echo from someone, but that's cool. Hey, Sione, how are you going, man? Good to hear from you. Can't see you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, actually, it's all great. I went on a post wedding vacation. It was really lovely. We went to Athens. It was an amazing
Beautiful.
time. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Now getting prepared for the smart contract launch.
Yeah.
I was a bit worried it was going to launch in our Jewish New Year's holiday that's happening tomorrow. Yeah, and it's for like 2 days. So Johnny confirmed that it's not happening on those days. So that's good news for the team and for myself because in that holiday I log off completely from all technology and activity. So it's good news.
Yes. I saw the post also, right? So Juni confirmed 24th, 25th, 26th. That's what.
Yeah,
I
I think so.
I saw that there's supposed to be a 24 hours warning, or heads up. Is it still the case, or how is it gonna be? Or there are more solid dates now?
Yeah, they're probably gonna give a 24-hour they're probably gonna give a 24-hour time frame as well, but he mentioned that's gonna launch on one of those days, so at least we can even prepare a bit more.
Yeah. But I think Juni did mention 3 dates. I think he mentioned from those dates. He said. So if I'm not forgetting, it is 24, 25th, 26th. But yeah, please correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But yeah, good to see everyone else here on the space. Golden Sparrow, good to see you. See some guys. Danny Fox, I think a lot of familiar faces. Good to see you all of you guys. And as we always say, please come up and please contribute, ask questions, add your comments, anything you would like. It's an open space. We like hearing from people, as you always know. But that's great, Sione. Good to hear about the wedding, and obviously good to hear that you at least took some time off. So why don't we get started? And I'm sure there'll be a lot more people coming. So yeah, I think smart contracts will be here in a week or so, right? I think that's the time we've been given on Aspect side. And as Christina mentioned, we had a good actually long space with the KAT team. I wasn't aware of the entire functioning of KAT, Kaspa Transparency Alliance Transparency. But it was good chat with both Aston from Nacho and Louis from Zealous. I think they explained their bridge solution they're working on, and I thought it'd be great to have obviously other builders that are not going to be using their cat bridge, or Zealous plus Nacho's cat bridge. And Sione, obviously you guys are building your own. So I think it's going to be great space. So yeah, I think why don't we start with that context, that you guys, or KaspaCom is going to be building their own KRC20 bridge, right? So that's the context slash topic for today.
Yeah.
And just for anyone who hasn't had the chance to listen to that space, it was almost 2 hours, and we did a space on X, and then we uploaded that content on YouTube also, which has received decent feedback. I think we're quite happy with overall that people have got Medium, they can spend time on X, but they also can obviously go back on YouTube if they want to listen to the space there. And we're going to do the same for this space as well. We will upload it on YouTube, just so that people get a chance to listen to it in their own time, rather than being here. So yeah. So Sione, let me perhaps start with this, right? So have you had a chance to see what KAT, or Kaspa Alliance guys are building on their bridge? Because they're, I think, based on my knowledge, I think they are very specific. But yeah, have you had a chance to watch her content or
Yeah.
see
So
what?
so I saw, yeah, so I actually saw the infrastructure a bit. I didn't get into much details. I do understand that they're doing a two-way bridge, meaning that they will be able to basically, you'll be able to lock and unlock back the assets, which from the feedback we received from the community, on our community, and also in general the Caspa community, it's something that they are more interested in, which is good news because we weren't planning to do a two-way bridge. I understand that some of them want to keep the assets on layer one, since it's like the OG assets, and they also have a lot of listings on other exchanges and all of that. So it's a bit of a problem for the community to just not have the two-way bridge. Of course, that with this two-way bridge, there's also security measures that need to be taken, and different things that needs to be done. Since in the end of the day, on layer one, there's no really lock mechanism. Uh, in this case, the only lock mechanism I can think of, without even looking at the infrastructure, is that basically they can lock it in the UTXO with the partial signed transaction, and it will be locked in their wallet. That might be the mechanism they're
Yep.
using. I didn't check, but it seems that that's the best approach to take for this bridge. Correct me if I'm wrong. You were at the space, maybe you have more information.
No, I think you're right. In fact, I think you are. What you just said is precisely right. I think the challenges, and I think there was a long space because we, initially when we started the space, it was focused on we just started from a broader topic, like why Cosplex decided not to build the bridge. So we just had a general chat with the guys, trying to understand the reasoning and what was given. And I followed up with Caspador also on my chat with him, following that session. So I think initially when we had the chat with the guys, it was okay. Let's talk about the reasons why you have to do the bridge and why it was rushed, right? So I think that was great to hear from them. And then from there, I think we went into the architecture of the bridge. And exactly what you said. So they are going to be doing bidirectional bridge for KRC20 assets. And, I think their challenge is very unique in a way, right? And you've highlighted their challenge, right? Both Nacho and Zealous, they have their tokens already out in the market, right? So their challenge is they had to come up with a solution themselves, right? Because
Yeah.
they're already trading, and they have already paid bunch of money to the exchanges, right, to list the coins on those exchanges. And as you highlighted, for them to actually, you know, if someone who bridges, so let me put it this way, right? Like, okay, let's say you have bought the pre-sale of Zealous token, and then now you bridge it with the cat bridge over to a DEX, let's say Zealous DEX, right? Now you can't, from there on, you cannot actually forward that, or you can't take that token to a exchange. You'll have to take that token, bridge it back to the layer one, and only from there on you can actually send that to a exchange if you needed to. You know,
Exactly.
so it was a
It's
challenge for them.
it's quite challenging in general, this situation that L1 tokens have with these exchanges, because it's a different technology. They also did it. They also implemented these technologies for them because it was something that they never had done before, and they also pay a lot of money from it. I do have to say that most of the exchanges that you had, that's at the start of the KRC20 saga, all the teams were running to exchanges, to this all different sketchy or fishy or small exchanges, you can say. I don't want
Yeah.
to bad mouth exchanges, but most of them, they drug them, or most of them they do something bad for them, or basically just wash trading and created fake volume on the token, and they're still doing it up to today. I do think that, in all honesty, I think that up until today, 90% of the exchanges they actually worked with were not good for the token and created fake volume. But that's for me to say from the other side of things. I've been building since day one with all the Krc20 teams, and I've seen all that happen. I've seen how much money they paid and how much they actually got in return. And it was and they just rushed to exchanges because the community was rushing them to do them, and the stress and the pressure from the community, which another day I do think that did more, that hurt them there more, that really hurt them, because also KRC20 mechanism didn't allow them to actually raise any funds. So
Yeah.
the funds that they did raise, they used them on bad exchanges and bad listings, which I can't blame them. It's also a lot of the builders were, you can say, first time building, and they understand. And also you couldn't expect the exchanges to be bad, because you see an exchange, you see volume, you see trading there, so you don't actually understand how the mechanics works. But I do think that for the KRC20 tokens, the best approach it is today to keep it on decentralized exchanges like KSPR and ours. When I mean decentralized, I mean trustless, even though KSPR is not trustless like ours today. Uh, but yeah, it's a really challenging thing, because, like you mentioned, if you want to go put it on exchange, you have to go to layer one again, and the whole subject, it's complicated and it's not simple, and there's a lot of challenges, and I understand why Casplex also avoided this, and focused on just building layer two.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think there's no point looking back into what happened. I think I want to focus mostly on the future,
For sure.
because I think that's the right path for everyone. And that's exciting path also, right? It's a lesson for everyone. We all in this together, right?
Hmm.
And that's really the focus for this call, really. So yeah, I think so. Just quickly, I think let me also mention, like, the part of the architecture, what I understood from the cat bridge, and then we'll jump on to what you guys are um, thinking of building, right, or are building. So just quickly, the cat bridge will be bidirectional, as I mentioned. So it'll be from the layer one to layer two on Cosplex. We are specifically still discussing Cosplex. There is no IGRA in the mix so far, because it's going to take some time for IGRA. And also they use some interesting mechanism of relays and multi-sig infrastructure. Um, so that's sort of how they are thinking of building, which is from layer one to layer two. They use this like a unique sort of, I guess, the way they put it is the best decentralization they can build right now, which is they use 5 relays, and those relays have to vote. And from from those 5, if the 3 relays have voted, the assets can be moved over to layer 2s. Obviously, I'm simplifying it for everyone here. So
Hey, Sept, I think there's a little bit of echo. Do you guys hear that as well, or is it just me?
I think it's just you.
Oh, just me. Okay, perfect.
I think listen,
Sorry.
maybe someone else hears it. I'm good with that.
I think
I,
I'm hearing myself actually, so there is definitely echo on my side too.
Okay. Yeah, guys, can you please let us know if there is any issue? If you can hear Ankit well.
Yeah, please, guys, raise your hand or just do the thumbs down or something if there is an issue. It's always good to get a feedback because last week or 2 weeks ago we tried to do that live on video and it did not go well. So please tell us.
Okay. I don't think anyone is giving thumbs down. So yeah, looks like everyone can hear you well. So yeah,
Okay, it's
please carry on.
just 2 of us, Christina. All right. So yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, so they have a unique sort of relay and multi-sig infrastructure relay infrastructure on the layer 1 to layer 2 and a multi-sig from layer 2 to layer 1, which was quite complicated, and we did spend a lot of time on the way they're thinking of bringing assets back from layer 2 to layer 1. I think that was the sort of majority of time spent. And the one common theme, I guess, in the entire discussion was, in a way, these bridges are centralized. So keep that in mind, that these bridges will be centralized. Even if Casplex did it, it would have been some sort of centralized. But so far, the solutions that are popping out, at least the one we've spoken to, is sort of centralized, I guess, the way we put it. But Sione, yeah, I think, again, we're not spending too much time on the discussion I've already had. I want to really focus on KaspaCom solution, but it's just a context for everyone.
yeah, no, for sure. All right. Yeah, so I can give it a start.
Please, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, first of all, the initiative that we took, it's because we saw that no one was looking to do the bridge, and we as a leading platform, and also we are well connected with all the KRC20 main projects, and we care about our community and our users. So we decided we'll take this challenge head on. But we did decide that we will be doing a one-way bridge because all the challenges that we mentioned before of the exchanges, the going back and forth, the security of holding the assets, and all of that, there were challenges that you'd say that we don't want to take on, and there's also challenges that they either way, if you bridge through them or through us, you still have to take care of those exchange listings, and it's still going to be a bit of a problem on that side of things. Nothing to do about it. That's the situation, and they have to find a solution. So that's why we focus on more simple approach, which users can basically, first of all, like Kat is doing, we are gonna of course be verified we're gonna be talking with the team, with the founder of the community or whatever who leads this bridge, because we want to have one verified contract which everyone will be bridging to or using for the bridge, just like Kat. It's not like, for example, KSPR, that they're just doing a two-way bridge through their Telegram bot, which is actually working and it's good, but they just anyone can just do it. So the issue here is that someone can go and do it, and someone else doesn't do it, but they're not aligned with the whole community. So there can be a situation that you have two, three different contracts, because you have the contract that comes from our bridge and the people that use KSPR's bridge, and they're not aligned with each other, which basically does a fragmentation of the assets. But since they can go back from, and it's two-way bridge, they can always bridge back and go through the, you can say, quote unquote, verified bridge or verified contract address. So of course, communication with the community and the founder is an important part of the process. So the whole process is basically it's based on the fact that the founder will deploy the token uh, as much tokens as he wants. We usually recommend, 1-to-1 amount of tokens, but also this is a good chance for the community basically to maybe deploy another 20-15% of the token if they want to use that for treasury, or if they want to use that for the liquidity pool, with alignment of the community. But it's a chance to add more funds, or you can say dilution on the token, but you can they can help the token in the long term. So that's something that we offer as well when they ask us for like advice and what should they do. But at the end of the day, a 1-to-1 is the more basic. So you don't dilute your holders, and they deploy the token on the layer two with the same amount of tokens that it's on the layer one, and they will basically send that to our secured backend service that receive the tokens, and it's on our closed service. So that means that no one can actually access us from the outside. And the only person who can access it, it's just another backend, another microservice inside our infrastructure that talks to him. And basically, the users connect to KaspaCom. They need to set their EVM wallet they want to receive their tokens at, and they will send the L1 tokens to a burn address, and then we basically let the backend know to this is the address the user wants to get. There's verifications happening in the other microservice, which we verified that this user actually burned this amount of tokens from this ticker, and we confirmed that it was burned. And after it was burned, then the respective token on the layer two and the respective amount is sent to the user. In this way, we can take all the security measures of the multisig and take the security measures of holding the assets, and it makes it more streamlined and simple for the whole community to basically bridge the whole token to the layer two. But with this, of course, it comes also pros and cons, just like in the two-way bridge.
So,
Like yeah,
Sione, can I jump in? That's very
yeah,
cool.
of course, of course.
I think what you're sort of highlighting is there's a lot of detail in that, right? And kind of very interesting detail also. I want to sort of break it down a little bit. I think so. Again, apologies for stopping your flow there.
No, no, of course. You always like to stop me to make it more simplified for the hearing. So I prefer for you to stop my ranting going.
No, I think we always have a good banter. But yeah, I think let me like just start by asking this very simple question, and then we'll get on to your flow stuff. Did you actually look at Cat's solution? Like, I guess what they reached out because based on the discussion I had with the guys, they were wanting to work with other projects as well. They were wanting to work with KRC20 projects, and I know like Kaspa the Ghost, for example, are happy with those guys are happy with the solution the cat is developing. So I guess the first part I would say is like were you at any point did you consider, hey, perhaps we don't have to build it, these guys are doing it, we might perhaps
Yeah, so that's actually a great question. This is something that was speaking me and Abraham the past few days. I didn't want to tell you, hey, we might not do it, so let's not do the space. So I kept that off from you. But
yeah.
we do have the implementation halfway there. We don't see we are reaching out to our partners that they wanted to use our bridge from day one, and we're reaching out to them. And even if there's 1-2 partners that are interested, we'll do it for them. But like I mentioned at the start of the space, there's a lot of interest in having a two-way bridge, just for the fact that they want to maybe keep the OGL1 tokens on the layer one,
Yeah.
which I understand that. I understand the reasoning on that, and yeah, so I 100% think that that's where we are going.
Okay.
That we might just say use the cat one, because there's more people that are interested in that one because of the different pros and cons, but they prefer the the two-way bridge, and we're completely fine by that. We have no reason to do it if there's no one who has interest into using it, and we know we're building this because we saw a need in this. But if there's someone else building it and they announce they're building it after we announce ours, we are fine by that because
Yeah.
we're not planning to. It's not even about competition, you know. It's just because supply and demand, and if people want to use theirs, I'm more than happy for letting them use
Yeah.
that, and we can focus on other things.
Yeah. I think it's sort of two-way discussion, right? I think competition is definitely interesting angle because it is a competition, but I think more than that, for me, it's more, as you say, unidirectional versus bidirectional, which of course, even if people end up never using that second direction, which is from layer 2 to layer 1, it's just a comfort, right? People want to know at
Yeah.
least, hey, I can take my token back to layer 1. Sort of adds that comfort. But I think more than that,
Yeah.
I thought it could be because it's two teams, right? Nacho and Zealous that are building Cat Bridge. I mean, this is again a naive question, but perhaps a decent one. It could be that by having more players in the game, it sort of adds with the decentralization element, right? Because now it's
hmm
not just two players with their tokens; it's more independent players like so of KaspaCom that can come in. Again, I'm not there to support them. I'm just sort of asking a very simple question, right? I'm just trying to be
Yeah.
neutral as much as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, exactly. So the KaspaCat Alliance is actually, like you mentioned, a third party, even if it's built by two teams that we're aware of, and even if one of them is competition of ours, it's all fine. It's a third party. We are in the day in the playing the same
Yeah.
game. We're all in this together, like you mentioned before. We want to align as much as possible for the upcoming layer twos. In every aspect as possible to not fragment the community as much as possible. The situation is either way really complicated, so we're fine by that. And my question to you, because I haven't looked at this
Yeah.
at their infrastructure, is do they when someone bridge through CAT, does the bridge tokens go directly to the ZealousSwap DEX, or do they give them a choice to decide?
Oh, actually, that is very, very good question. I don't think we discussed that. So I would take a guess here. I will be taking a guess. My guess will be it will go to ZealousSwap. I don't think we discussed it with the caveat. I think it will go to the obvious DEX. But I don't think from the infrastructure point that will be how it needs to happen. I think it would be just a default option, right? Because that's the only
Yeah, like in the other day, no, in the other day when you bridge the tokens, it's there's no really any relation to the DEX. You know, when you bridge the tokens, it's individual people bridging their tokens, and the DEX, it's for to the DEX to run. You need a liquidity pool, and you need an amount being supplied in that liquidity pool to be used. So listen, it is an important thing to understand. Our bridge, for example, we were aiming to, live users aside whatever they want. We just basically help them move their tokens, and then they're free to do what they want.
Yeah.
I hope this is the same situation for Cat. They're probably gonna be giving them easy to add liquidity approach, straightforward out of the bat, which is fine by me. No problem with that. But I do hope that they don't force them to do that. Because
It's a good question. Good question. I think I personally don't think because otherwise they would have just created a zealous bridge, right? Um,
yeah,
because
yeah,
that would have made more sense if it was just going to straight to a DEX. And even on their architecture, which they posted on the Kaspa Alliance a while back, actually. I think it just goes to the wallet, so it doesn't. The assets just appear on the EVM wallet, not to the DEX. That's what they
Yeah.
explain. So
Yeah. That makes more sense.
that
That
would
does
make
make
sense,
more.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From there, I think it's up to the user to decide the DEX, whichever DEX they want to take it to, right? As you highlighted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, cool. I think that makes sense. But yeah, it's a very valid question, obviously, when you're in the space. I guess, my naive question was, if CAT wants to create this protocol, like, and if more players come in, likes of yourself, then it becomes more decentralized, at least for the community, right? But yes, it does have, when competitors work together, I think it sort of creates a nice pull and twist in a nice way. But and anyways, it was just a I guess a question that popped up. So cool. All right. Coming back to, I guess, your architecture that you're defining, right? The thing that stood out
Mm-hmm.
to me is that you guys are, because it's going to be a unidirectional, so from layer one to layer twos. The key, again, I think you were talking about the bridge, and I interrupted you. So the thing you were saying, that once the user bridges their assets, right? So the KRC20 assets, you will burn them on the layer one. Is that what I heard? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, yeah. So basically, the whole idea was one-way bridges. They can basically move on to the layer two because in a way, when I thought about the architecture of the bridge, it's because I see the utility that it's that you gain from the L2. You know, as an ERC20 token, you have a lot of functionalities, a lot of things you can do with the token, which is not which it's almost impossible to do on the layer one. So I see more utility on the layer two than the layer one. So I didn't actually understand the need to have them locked. So basically, the idea is to the user will burn them. That's basically where we verify that that the tokens are burned. We verified that with the blockchain, so there's no duplicates and not like any double spending, you can say, of the token itself.
Well, that's a very interesting solution. Typically, when you talk about bridges, burning is a very common mechanism. Especially with the borrowing and lending, when you do that. So yeah, I'm trying to think. How would you burn them? Like, what is the mechanism for you to? Uh, because I'm trying to think, because burning actually does solve a lot of issues, right? Because right now with
Mm-hmm.
Cat Bridge, they have these relayers that does the signing, as I mentioned before, right? So they have these
Mm-hmm.
three relayers out of five relayers in total. They have three has to sign, then that they've received the KRC20 token. Once three signed it, then they get locked, the tokens get locked, and then the minting process starts on the layer two, right? So that's more of a process they've going through. But in your case, if KaspaCom just burns, or user rather, burns their own KRC20
Yeah, the
token,
user does it.
yeah, user burns the KRC20 tokens. What what is the infrastructure like? How would it work? I mean, one positive side is you don't have to have your relayers there, right? Because you don't need to rely on 5 relayers or 10 relayers, right? You can just see if the asset is burned, you can easily mint them on layer two.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the question I have is, how do you know that assets are burned?
So in the other day, Caspix today, the layer one tokens are verified by the indexer that Caspix developed. So the moment, you have a transaction hash, you can get the information from the transaction hash. You can check that this Kaspa wallet, either the connection to our platform is secure and they have authentication keys and all of that. So it's not like someone can use a different wallet and send that request to a different
Mm.
wallet and get confusion like that. And another day, we also verify with the blockchain the person who sent it. And this wallet who sent it also submitted a EVM wallet on our infrastructure. So we know that this Kaspa wallet wants this EVM wallet to receive the tokens when they're bridged. So we just verify with the blockchain that this transaction hash was sent by this person. We verify the ticker, we verify the amount, and then we just basically with the smart contract on the AVM microservice, you to send those tokens from that ticker to that wallet with that specific amount.
Okay, all right.
It's relatively simple
Yeah.
compared to the five relay.
Yeah, it does seem simple, but I guess what I was trying to ask is like, because in this process, the user will send the KRC20 tokens to a layer one Kaspa layer one wallet, right? That's the process you'll have to go through. You can't obviously send them directly to layer two. So you
Yeah,
send it to layer one wallet. And I guess what I was asking is on the wallet, like a user will have an option of, hey, I want to burn the tokens, and then that will unlock I guess I'm just trying to see how will the process work and what are if you happen to know, if you're still working on it, obviously we can come back to it. Because I know there could be opcodes, there could be other things that could be used for this mechanism. I'm not aware how you will pick up that it's actually burned. These assets are
So
burned.
So first of all, there are opcodes that actually let you do this. These are the opcodes that Casplex implemented later on, basically to do possible stablecoins on Kaspa Layer 1. To be honest, I haven't seen any tokens that actually deployed and uses opcodes. We haven't even implemented those opcodes on our platform.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's I don't see it in anywhere. But and also the old KRC20 tokens that were deployed before, you cannot just apply those opcodes because you need when you deploy them, you need to like basically when you deploy the token, you have to make those opcodes be to work. And these tokens were deployed before the opcodes, so I don't think you'll be able to actually do that. And basically, in Kaspa, how do you burn? There's a burn address on Kaspa Layer 1, and anything you send to that burn address, it's considered a burn. You have this, you have in the burn address, you also have the tokens that Shai himself burned when Kaspa blockchain went down at launch 4 years ago. They basically, so he basically mined himself to people. He was the only miner for for like 2 weeks, and he mined like millions of Kaspa at that time was just the thousands of dollars, and the community decided to burn them. So that the address today has like $11 million of USD worth of tokens in Kaspa. So it's just a burn address that the blockchain has that no one can actually use or interact with, and you can consider them burned when you send it there.
Yeah. Okay. So it could be to do with the burn wallet address, right? So you send it to that wallet, and then from there, all assets are considered to be burned essentially. And yes, I do agree. I think the opcodes that Casplex implemented later on, which was around April, I think this year, they were specifically for stablecoins, which I don't think got used. So I do hear you, but it's interesting. To perhaps see how you guys are thinking, because again, going back to the basic architecture, I think what it feels like in this case you wouldn't have to worry about as such of centralization, because you will have to have some sort of relay, though, like you'll have to have at least one relay to say, okay, assets got burned, got sent, and for people that are listening, relay is just an off-chain computer, right? It's a service that's running off-chain, that's just picking up all the transaction on the layer one.
Exactly. Yeah. So like a microservice.
Yeah. So, and it's constantly looking for that specific payload, perhaps, to see if that showed up, and if it does show up, then you can start to bridge the asset. Is that how you're thinking?
Yeah, that's basically like you mentioned. You can say that it's a two-layer because there's two-step verifications. The one who basically confirms that the asset was burnt and verifies that everything's fine on that end, and then that microservice or relayer talks to the EVM microservice relayer, which again verifies it and then sends the tokens.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And in this case, you don't really need 5 relayers or 10 relayers, right? Because you can
No.
you can like just cryptographically, I guess. I don't know if it's cryptographically. It's just you can just pick up the transaction and say, okay, that transaction happened and it got burned. Now I can start to bridge the asset over to EVM. I mean, I guess will you launching any documentation on this? Like, will you have?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So like we had some other priorities, so our pipeline was full, but I do believe that this week it will be, if we're going forward with it, they will verify of our partners, and if we are going forward, then for sure we're gonna be provided proper documentation of the infrastructure, of the flow, diagrams, and everything needed. But I'd say it's a 2 week process to have it go live. We're not in a rush. These things usually take time, but since it's relatively simple, we can also do it quite quick. But it's still, we need testing, and we want to provide the users the best instructions, documentations as possible when it comes to bridging.
Yeah.
But we are also, hopefully we'll be launching a testnet soon, the stable bridge and all of that in the next 2 weeks. Stablecoin bridge, Bitcoin bridge. So that's something that we'll need to bring proper documentation, and that's a proper infrastructure. And we're working with the Oracle, with Quex, and that's a full-on a bridge that's a two-layer, two-way bridge, and it's quite interesting and advanced. So we're actually hoping to finalize this also in the next 2 weeks.
I see. I see. So that with the Quacks, who's an oracle, you are specifically mentioning the stable coin bridge in that.
Yeah.
Interesting. I see. Um, I want to park that discussion for today.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think that's a very, very interesting discussion. I think it perhaps a longer one. And we should have that on a separate occasion. But very cool, very cool. I think, yeah, we spoke briefly on the session we did on the podcast about the bridge. Stablecoin bridge briefly, but it'll be good to discuss further. But yeah, I think just carrying on this part. So KRC20 bridge, right? So layer 1 to layer 2. Okay, I think basically I understand what you're saying, and you're gonna have some documentation in next week or 2 weeks, whatever time it takes. And from layer 2 to layer 1, you don't have now headache, right? Because assets are over to layer 2. Assets become more functional, more utility is there on layer 2. Layer 1, you can't really do much with those assets anyways on layer 1, right? Layer 2 provides that utility.
Exactly.
uh,
Exactly.
yeah.
The only thing you can actually do today with the layer one is it's transfer, hold. You can lock them with the PSKT mechanism, and that's basically the functionality that we use for the trading on our platform. It's users locking them, and you have the atomic swaps, but that's together with the partial transaction infrastructure they built.
Yeah.
And so it's quite limited, and like if you want to have like verified or token gated applications and stuff like that, and staking, it's quite complicated, and you're like basing yourself on APIs and stuff like that, and not on the actual blockchain, and which is fine, but it's not what crypto is about, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though if Casplex is centralized and it's not a centralized chain, it's quite of the same thing a bit, because
Yeah.
if you verify the token with smart contracts, it's more decentralized and you have more functionalities. But if it's closed source and not decentralized, then it's similar to just an API. But I do believe that that they're thriving and they're looking forward to have a decentralized chain and open sourcing all the files like they mentioned. So I believe that they'll be doing it right.
Yeah, I hope so too. I think Kaspador did mention that the plan is to open source everything over time. So let's see. And I hope, as I said, like, I mean, that's the purpose of a decentralized protocol, right? to have
Yeah,
to have
exactly.
things decentralized, and to build that infrastructure. But that's good to get, because clarity on, because there is no such, I guess, assumption here that you'll have to build a layer 2 to layer 1 infrastructure, which was the most complicated part on the cat bridge, to be honest. That was quite a beast in itself, the way they were thinking or the way they're building. But for you guys, I think that problem is solved. Obviously, I think, KRC tokens are, has a market value, whatever it is, 60 $70 million. So it's a, in crypto terms, it's not huge, but I think for Kaspa community and obviously individual, it's huge. So it makes sense for them to consider the right option if they want to hold on the layer 1. So it just gives them options, right? The users can decide, um, people can decide what's the better option for them. If they want to burn the asset, then KaspaCom might be the better option. But if they want to hold on their layer 1 wallet, then they would have to use some other option, like, so, Cat Alliance.
Exactly.
Um,
And as it's from the feedback of the community, it seems that they're more aligned to using a two-way bridge, but with Cat, and that's completely fine by us. We don't mind that. Whatever the community wants. The main reason we started the bridge is because we saw a need in the community, and we'll just do whatever they decide.
yeah. So I mean, why you guys decided not to build a two-way bridge in that case? Like, because you're already building one way. Was there any specific reason?
Yeah. Yeah, like I mentioned at the start, they all the security measures, holding the assets, and all of that.
Yeah.
We also saw that the challenges of the exchanges, they're gonna be there either way, if it's two-way bridge or one-way bridge. And I also saw that I also saw that there's no actual need in the layer 1 assets when you have better functionalities and better utility and better things to do on the layer 2. But community feels different. Community wants the OG assets to be on a layer 1. I understand that, and they also want to keep their listings and not like kill them completely. But the listings issue is still there, even if it's a two-way bridge. But so we made our pros and cons list, our time capital, our working capital that we have to deploy for both implementations. So we went for the you can say the more simple and secure one.
Yeah. Simpler, secure, and I guess with the intent that eventually, I think we will see a lot more assets getting created on the layer 2 itself. And I think perhaps what we
Yeah.
have seen on KRC20 is, I mean, it was very, very good, but I think when the layer 2s get implemented, I think we will see a explosion of, projects and tokens getting created on layer 2s.
Exactly. So I do think that exactly. Do you think that the assets that will get mind share and value and volume in the upcoming season of Kaspa, it's gonna be probably assets on layer 2 that are freshly new layer 2 assets. That they're not stuck here in the middle, because this stuck in the middle, it's just a bit it's just confusing and problematic. The exchanges, the listings. It's just it's a bit of a salad, and it might be easier just to keep them with layer 1. Keep trading on layer 1. It's either way, it's trustless and it's the centralized trading kind of, so it's secure, and it might just keep them there and move forward with the layer 2 new assets, you know?
Yeah, yeah. No, that totally makes sense. And perhaps who knows if things go well, you might one day decide, hey, it might be better to build, a sort of bidirectional bridge. I don't know if that will happen, but who knows? Things do happen in crypto.
Yeah, yeah.
Based on the market sentiment and based on like how these tokens start to trade really, really well, the price appreciates. Um, you might consider that one day. But that's cool. That's cool. So on this bridge part, is there anything we haven't covered off? You will have some documentation anyways, and so anything we haven't covered off, just generically talking about the KaspaCom bridge.
No, it seems that we covered most of the things, most of the security, and the flow and the infrastructure. Yeah, seems
Awesome.
sounds to cover most of.
So I do have
Mhm.
two other specific questions, but I think maybe I'll give a little bit of break and see if anyone wants to come up to ask any question. Hey guys, please do come up if you are listening and if you are wanting to ask any specific question or engage or add your comment. Please do come up. Christina will add you as a speaker. I'll give it maybe a minute to see if anyone wants to come up, and then we'll carry on if no one wants to come up. Anything from you, Christina, you wanted to ask Sione?
No, I'm just listening. It's so interesting how many, as many bridges, as many solutions. Yeah, we did just get a comment from Felix from Currency. He said,
Hey, Felix. Would you want to come up, Felix? If you want.
yeah, I can see him. So Felix, if you want to come up and just, ask questions or engage, please do. We are not forcing, but but if you do have something to share, please do come up. But anyways, so he said, how cool would it be to have a permissionless way to bridge L1 to L2 tokens, NFTs?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, good. So regarding NFTs, we don't see much of a point to do that yet, since there's no marketplace currently being developed. We do have it in the timeline. I do hope we see it happening in the next month or two. But also, we got a lot of feedback from the community from KaspaCom, since we're the leading NFT trading platform. A lot of the community said that they want to maybe just wait and see how things roll, wait and see how Caspas does, maybe wait for IGRA, maybe wait for VPROGs. So they're not in a rush in moving the NFT somewhere else. They're quite happy with the current solution and with the current platform. And I do saw in CAT's documentation they're planning a KRC721 bridge. Two ways. It might be a solution to also use them for that. But again, the only reason to bridge an asset, an NFT, is to stake it or to trade it on a layer 2. And if there's no marketplace, then you have one reason off. And the staking currently, yeah, staking you can do without a marketplace. And Nacho, they're probably gonna be creating also a bridge for their NFTs. So they're probably creating a bridge for everyone, because they have their staking powers and all of that. And that it's not that marketplace is happening, but like the community said, we might wait to see how things unfold and not rush into a decision, because it's just too many unknowns along the way.
Yeah. The way I read that question, Sione, was slightly different. I thought, Felix is mentioning a very key thing, which is permissionless way to bridge. I think the key perhaps was the way I understood it. Again, Felix, please feel free to come up if you're still here. But anyways, my interpretation is he's saying how cool would it be to have a permissionless way to bridge layer 1 to layer 2 and vice versa. for tokens and NFT. So I think he's perhaps saying permissionless is the key word here rather than having to have centralized.
Yeah, I see. I don't think it's possible having a permissionless bridge in general. Even if we are deploy, for example, our stablecoin bridge, it's not permissionless. At the end of the day, you do need to have a centralized party in the bridges, at least with current infrastructures and current L2 infrastructures. Maybe with vprogs, things might change, but in general, I don't think I've seen a permissionless bridge without any centralized part in the process.
Yeah, there are solutions that are actually getting built, but I don't think they're scalable solutions. But yes, I think broadly speaking, I think Sione, yeah, I personally haven't also seen any bridge that's fully decentralized, and I like we kind of bridges and oracles for me are kind of interesting topic because bridges are like, I mean, we can say oracles are providing the data of the real world over to the blockchains, right? So they're acting like a bridge. So like oracles are acting like a bridge, and most of the oracles are centralized, right?
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
so sort of a little bit of overlap here with bridges slash oracles. Because in this case, we're just moving assets from one place to another. With Oracle, it's sort of bringing its entire job is to bring the outside world data over to a blockchain. Slightly different, but does function in a similar way. And yeah, they are not permissionless. Most of them are centralized.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but Felix, if you have a specific solution, and I'd love to hear myself.
Yeah, please let us know.
If there's a way to build it, and I had the same discussion with Aston and Lewis, and they were very interested also if there is a solution that can be permissionless and fully decentralized, like an open protocol where community can see what's happening. I think that'll be an amazing win to create that bridge. But so far, I can't think of any solution.
We have a question from STP. Will it still be possible to launch a mintable token on KaspaCom or elsewhere?
What does that mean by mintable?
STP.
STP, feel free to come up if you are still here with us, but I think he's just left. I think maybe he's referring to, I'm gonna perhaps just put myself in. I think what he's referring to, if right now on KRC20, you can mint a token, right? So perhaps he's meaning once the layer 2 goes live, KaspaCom will allow you to mint a token on layer 2. I think that's what he meant, but I don't know.
So basically, layer two's mint of tokens. It's less something that happens. You'll still be able to mint tokens on layer one and keep using layer one as usual. Nothing will change on the layer one side of things. Regarding the layer two, there's no mints for tokens. There's two ways you can deploy a token on the layer two. You can deploy a token by going to our platform, to our DeFi platform, just deploy your token and get the whole supply and do whatever you want with the token. Or you can go to our token launchpad pump fund style and use that, deploy the token there, and basically create a mechanism for buy and sell. And basically, it's sort of like minting, because when a person buys the token, he receives the token and he needs to pay Kaspa for it. So it kind of resembles a minting mechanism. The money doesn't go to the deployer. The money just goes into a pool that will go to the Kaspa will go to a liquidity pool for the graduation pool for the DEX. So it's a similar kind of process, but it's more like a buy and sell mechanism.
Yeah. I think it's perhaps coming from this place of I know about KRC20. Anyone can deploy a quick token, within seconds, right? You can deploy a token with some images and copy. So perhaps I think, STP, you need to just go to the DeFi side of KaspaCom and you'll be able to do the same thing. I believe, as Sione mentioned. Yeah, that's my interpretation of his question. But let's keep going in that case. So two more questions, two more things that perhaps is worth highlighting here and worth quickly discussing. The first one is the native cast itself. What are you guys thinking for the Kaspa bridge? Because we are so far discussing KRC20 bridge.
Yeah.
What is the plan for Kaspa bridge?
Good. So and that's something that people are actually asking quite a lot often because mainnet approaching. To be honest, I told you what I know. There's a third party being funded by KEF that they're creating this bridge. They're doing this bridge. In fact, by Caspador, he told me that it's already audited and working, and that they're but it's currently internally being tested. So that means that they haven't announced it. They haven't launched any tweets. They don't have a Twitter account. Kev hasn't said anything about it. It's still behind the scenes. And I do hope they launch this before mainnet so people can test it and play around with it and actually stress test it before mainnet. But currently, that's the only bridge we are aware of that does this layer 1, layer 2 bridge.
Yeah.
I don't know the mechanism. I don't know how it works.
I see.
I do know that it's being funded by KEF, and I guess since it's in the same umbrella as Casplex, I believe that it's aligned with Casplex as well, as much as possible.
I see. Okay, so this is the what you're referring is what Kaspador mentioned on the XXIM podcast, right? Which I did with him.
Yeah.
He mentioned specifically the same thing, which is it's funded by KEF. He doesn't know who is building it, but someone is building it, is audited. All right, so basically, KaspaCom is gonna rely on that entity or slash that bridge for native Kaspa asset. Okay, all right.
Yes, sir.
So you haven't sort of explored an area for yourself, so that's the best solution right now within the community.
Like I was listen. The best I would have hoped Casplex would have done this along with with mainnet. You know, it makes sense that to just like egress doing it.
Yeah.
But you know, in the day, if they want to separate the entities into two different teams, so be it. You know, it's the same for me.
I see. All right. Yeah, I think that's all I know as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to be doing that bridge and sort of, how the bridge works and the mechanisms and architecture. Because, I mean, we can all discuss KRC20, but perhaps the native Kaspa bridge is the most important bridge, right? And let's see if we find out more detail. I did try to ask Kaspador for details, but
he doesn't know himself much, I think.
Yeah, he said he doesn't know himself, so fair enough. Yeah, but it's important to understand, I guess, once it comes out, hopefully before the mainnet goes live from the dates we mentioned. All right, so that was one of the questions, and the second question is around the interoperability now, because obviously KaspaCom will deploy on Casplex first, and obviously with your own DEX and lending protocol, are you thinking that you'll have to then also deploy over IGRA later on when IGRA comes out?
So because of all the unknowns that we spoke about before and the lack of decentralization right now, we're not gonna fully deploy all our cards and all our capital into one chain. So we're first going to deploy our DEX and our token launchpad and our token pre-sale platforms for on Cashflix. We're gonna see how that unfolds. and then we'll reassess the situation and see if we're gonna do the lending protocol also on Casplex on Nigra. But that's the current situation. When it comes to interoperability, there's a chance that we might wait for IGRA, or we might wait for VPROGs to actually launch a full-on DeFi on KaspaCom, just because it does seem like superior technology. It does seem that it's the best call, not to fragment liquidity, because day, I don't want to be a party pooper, but I do think that Casplex is just another base ZK It's cool, which is based rollups and everything, and it's something that Ethereum doesn't have. But in the eyes of the users and retails, and the eyes of Solana and Ethereum traders, it's the same thing for them. They don't care what's behind the scenes. They don't care the chain. They just care that it's fast and cheap. And there's no reason for them to move to Casplex. Not if we don't give them a reason to move to Casplex.
Yeah.
So I do believe that to see a bigger adoption on Kaspa and to see more volume in Kaspa, we'll have to come with something different. And I do think that's DeepRogs, and that's atomic composability that will be coming in the future. So we might just develop everything and wait until we decide it's the right time and the right technology to go all in on DeFi.
I see.
But we do want to take our market share and our mind share as we have today. We don't want to lose attention, and we don't want to lose the first market mover advantage. So we're still gonna be launching some products on Casplex.
Yeah, right. What is DeepRogs, by the way?
What is DeepRogs?
Yes, please.
DeepRogs.
VPROGs. I think Anke didn't hear you.
DeepRogs. No, that's what you
No,
said.
VPROGs.
VPROGs, not
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sione. Yeah.
You must have heard deep frogs.
I don't know how I was thinking DeepRogs. I was like, that sounds cool.
I'm making a new technology, a new protocol with Jonathan together.
Well, that's what I asked. What is DeepRogs? Okay, VPROGs. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think VPROGs are very cool, especially so far what we've seen from Michael, what he posted. I think it's definitely heading to that interoperable environment. But yeah, as you say, I think I had a long back and forth with Aston on the interoperable part, where I was saying, what's the point of a based rollups if the layer twos end up building a bridge between layer twos. So I had a long discussion with Aston on that specific topic, because I think it'll be, I guess, the markets will decide the right path, but for a like end game for Kaspa, I think that all the layer twos go through the base layer for a consensus mechanism, then that makes sense. But for them that to happen, they have to know the state of of each other, and that's hard currently. And I think that's where VPROGs come in. But yeah, I did discuss a lot actually with Aston on that specific topic. But yes, I got your point now. I think it's not VPROGs, it's VPROGs.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. And so those were the two last things from me. I know we're short on time today, so I wanted to keep it concise and not drag our discussion as I sometimes do. So why don't we actually see if people have any other questions? If not, then we can start to wrap up the show, and perhaps as I said, we'll post that on YouTube as well to get more eyes on it and get people to understand this. But yeah, guys, anyone want to come up?
Do you hear me?
Yes, Sione, we can.
Yeah, so I connected to my car because I have to leave. And usually when I am in spaces and my car rugs me, so I don't hear you anymore. And sorry about that.
Can you hear us?
So if there's any more questions, then maybe I can answer them later directly through the comments and answer them directly. I'm speaking to myself, but thank you all for coming, and thank you, Ankit, for the space, Christina. Yeah,
All right,
so
Sione. All
we'll
right, all right.
talk.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.